Yeah. We are here still in Cyprus at the Tomb of the Kings. And it turns out that there were no kings ever buried here.
Well,
it's just
maybe one.
Maybe one. But mostly just rich people.
Do you think it's that? This does feel very kind of, I don't know, dream like a spirit animal is gonna come up and just tell me like, follow your soul or something. The sea and everything out here, it's crazy. Kind of reminds me of the Flintstones. I know that's messed up, but it does. This is from like the 4th century BC, I think. You can actually see 2 smaller niches here. These are actually for children. The other 5 niches in here were for 5 adults.
Maybe that's the steps they're referring to in the guide.
Yeah. All of this would have been covered and kind of underground originally. Come down these steps. They said this would be like domed. I was gonna sit down there thinking it was a bench, but now I realize it's actually a place where a dead body would have gone, so I'm gonna sit over here if I need to take a break. And you can see some carvings, some really faded carvings. Before the burial, the relatives of the dead would have covered the body with oil, then with a linen cloth. People would come and they would mourn. A silent procession would happen through the streets, and then they'd arrive at the ceremony here for the last burial, followed by a dinner during which the relatives ate inside the tomb. So the last dinner would have been eaten here with like your dead relative, covered in oil and wrapped up in linen. People would give offerings to the dead like milk and honey and oil, and they would leave them probably here, but maybe here. Probably here though, I think. So they left a lot of offerings here, and I guess they figured the dead would just come back and use them. The guidebook doesn't mention that one. So unfortunately, there was this Italian guy who, after helping serve in the American Civil War for some reason, came over here. He saw these markings which are called tumulus, and he realized that these were signs of burial grounds, and he just started digging it up, taking whatever he wanted. He didn't keep a logbook. He didn't really care about destroying things. He just dug it up, took everything, sold it. Some of this was destroyed by him. He also liked to sell them as like bulk deals, so he just combined lots of different tombs from lots of different areas, slap it all together and let you get like a wholesale price off of it. You're not able to piece together a lot of the history because you don't know what artifact came from where. Most of these artifacts, something like 35,000 artifacts from here, are actually at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. People need to be more respectful.
Especially when you go grave digging.
Have you been in here yet?
No, just
How cool is this? As soon as you come down these steps, there's a well right here, which was very symbolic in ancient Greek times. Hermes was the one who would bring you down to the underworld, and I guess it was linked by water. You'd go down a river to the underworld, so having the well here was your pathway for Hermes to take you down and take you up the river to the underworld and the afterlife. So if you notice the way that these two are built, there's a bunch of columns, and in the middle would have been the courtyard, and then around the sides are the actual tombs. And they were built this way because they wanted to resemble actual residences that would have been used at that time, like a home. If you watched our archaeological park, the Dionysus house, where we had all the mosaics in there, that was also that same style, where you had a courtyard in the middle with all the pillars, and then all the rooms are around the sides. This thing that I'm following says this one's very different. This is tomb number 8. There's like a thing in the center and nothing around here, instead of nothing in the center and stuff around the outside.
It's like inverted.
Inverted, right? This is probably the site of Ptolemy, the brother of Cleopatra the Sixth. It does seem kind of Egyptian, doesn't it? So this one, Tomb 7, was actually converted into a church, so it's in very good condition. I think there was a dome at one point. All these had domes, they weren't just like this. You can still see the remains of plaster in this one, allegedly. This might be the plaster that they're talking about. Yeah, you can definitely see it overlaid on the stone.
This well is like crazy deep. This is the continuation of the hole and or well. Let's go see if we can get a closer look. Oh, it's not that deep. I mean, it's deep. Certainly from up there, it's crazy deep. It's deep.
So we came to the old town of Paphos, which does not look very old, and it's very quiet. But we figured we'd stop in and get something to eat, and we ended up at a traditional Cypriot restaurant. These are some stuffed veggies, and we also ordered some fish as well. And there's a fly that really likes me. Okay.